Good morning, everybody. I'm Rick Mabe. I'm in the mountains of Christiansburg, Virginia on a mission today and staying in a hotel. Last night I was meditating and I just happened to grab the Bible out of a whim. I don't read it too often. And I just happened to just open up the book, and it opened up to Lamentations, and it opened up to Lamentations of Jeremiah. And it seemed fitting for me to read from that at this time, because it was talking about a country that had been taken down and its gates closed and its people sent to I guess you could call it purgatory or whatever you want to call it. They were starving, they were tearing each other apart, their women were being raped and plundered, and just the whole place was just going to hell, if you will. And the reasons that were given in the Lamentations was because they had turned their back on the rule of God, if you will. That their morals had been ignored, that they had stopped believing in God or Christ, and that sin had become their way of life. And so it really made me start really thinking about where our country is today. And I couldn't help but draw a parallel between what was happening in that country that was referred to in the Bible and what is happening in the United States of America today. Do you not stop and wonder what has happened to cause children to start shooting each other in schools, blowing up each other in schools? And I'm not sitting here going to talk about gun rights, okay? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get drawn into that argument. I am a patriotic American, and I am not going to sit here and try to slam my Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, because I don't believe that has anything to do with the reason why kids are shooting each other. It has to do with the idea of our kids killing each other has something to do with the home. It has something to do with the way that our lifestyles have changed, the way our morals have been lost, the way our family foundations have been destroyed. It has not a damn thing to do with guns, okay? It has to do with what you parents are doing in the home. It has to do with what you teachers are teaching our kids in the schools. It has to do with what you churches are teaching our kids in the pulpit. It has nothing to do with the tools of murder. So we're not going to have that discussion. What we are going to have a discussion about this morning is what you are doing to cause your children to have such distress that they are willing to take their lives and the lives of others in order to be heard, in order to be relieved from the destruction and the distress that they feel in living their lives in this country right now. Draw the parallel. Go into the Bible if you consider yourselves Christians or not. Doesn't matter. I don't consider myself to be a devout Christian because I don't believe in forcing a belief on someone simply because there was a prophet. But I believe that the scriptures were written by the hand of God. Okay, I'll give it that. And I believe there's some very important messages in there. Go in there and read Lamentations and draw the parallel. Think about what the moral code that's in your heart tells you about what's going on with us right now in this country. Don't even worry about what's going on around the world, okay? Set that aside for now. Just you don't even need to think about that. Think about what you are doing in your household right now that might be contributing to your child's demise. and make action. Take action to right the ship. This is definitely a time for us to change the ship, the course that we're on. Do not blame others for what's happening with your children. Blame yourselves and change the course you're on. I'll give you some examples. When you see children bullying one another, stop it. If you are yourselves as parents talking about others in a negative way that would lead your children to believe that it's okay to bully, stop it. If you are talking about people of another religion or another belief system with hate in your heart, stop it. I don't care. Stop it. You have no right or reason to pass judgment on another human being because of their belief system. Stop it. If you are promoting warfare within your home, stop it. If you, adult parent, have video games that you sit in front of that show bloodshed, stop it. If you are allowing your children to play video games that desensitize their thinking to think it's okay to watch people being shot and blown up and killed as though it's something for entertaining them, stop it. You know, when I was very young, when TV was just beginning to be something that was really great to have in the home, I wanted to watch Gunsmoke. Now this is, for those of you that don't remember, this was a Cowboys and Indians type show. It was in black and white. But it was about killing. It was about shooting Indians and shooting gangsters, or shooting each other with guns in the street. And my mom, Barbara Mabe, was very protective on peace and that kind of thing, and love and that kind of stuff. And she said, "You brat, how could you want to watch people killing each other in the streets, blah, 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 blah." I didn't watch Gunsmoke that night. My mother did not allow me to watch Gunsmoke that night. And my father, Scott, may remember that because I think they were dating at the time, or they were married. We were living, yeah, they were married at the time. He may remember that. I did not watch Gunsmoke that night. And it taught me a lesson. It is not okay to enjoy watching people kill each other. It is not okay for the entertainment industry to promote warfare and killing of each other in the street. It is not okay to give our kids games that allow them to promote slaughter of other human beings. It's just not okay. Because what does that teach our kids? That it's entertaining to kill each other. It takes away the value of love and life. Do you understand that? We need to get back to a certain moral base. Think about what you're doing before you allow your kids to do certain things. Think about what you're doing when you give that kid that joystick and watch them go into a city and destroy others with guns. AR-15s is a good example of an automatic weapon, you know, that is promoted in these video games. I'm not for gun control. Don't get me wrong. I own an assault rifle. Got one in my house, and it's not for hunting. I taught my boys how to shoot an assault rifle. Okay? I believe in the right to keep and bear arms to protect me against a tyrannical government in case I need it, to protect us and for self-defense. But my boys are stable. They're not going to go into some place and blow a bunch of people up. Okay? But these days, with the video games that are out there, these days with what you politicians are doing, this is another one real quick. Think about what the leadership of our government is acting like right now. When you read in the Bible about what was tearing down countries back then, brother against brother, it's very clear to see that our enemies are at our gates. They are mocking us. They are laughing at us. They are loving the way we're tearing ourselves down. And it talks about it in the Bible, about when a country tears itself down from within, the enemies are waiting at the gates. The black, dark energies are waiting at the gate to take you down. And they will take us down. They are just waiting. They're chewing at the bit. They're chomping at the bit. They want to come in here. They want to tear us down. They hate democracy. They hate the American way of life. And we're getting ready to hand it to them. Those of you that think that it's okay to march in the streets against some of the things that are so American, start thinking about what you're doing. You're getting ready to turn us into one of those countries that's over there that tears itself apart. Stalin, Lenin, those people, all about socialism, man. They were all about it. You don't really know what you're getting into, young folks. You haven't experienced the things that a lot of us have experienced in our learning. Schools, get back to teaching the American way of life. Do not continue to teach them about burning our flag and about not saying the anthem. Pledging allegiance. We have to get back to a base of patriotism in this country, or we're going to lose our country. Government is not the answer. Depending on our government as the savior for us is not the right answer. We will find ourselves oppressed by a government that only wants power and money. They want to keep you under their thumb. They will claim that they are your protector. But what they really are is your oppressor. They will soon be telling you what you can do for a living. They will be telling you where you can live. They will be giving you a certain amount of money. They will be giving you a place to live at their discretion. You will not be able to have your own way of life. There will be a board that will be telling you how you can live and where you can live. Look at these communist countries and you will see that the most people don't choose how they live. They choose for you how you will live. And if you don't do it their way, they will kill you. That's where we're headed if we do what the far left is wanting us to do. I'm not saying the far right is right either. There's a place in the middle for us Americans to live. So if you're wondering what's causing all of this, go back and look in here. Here's another one we're talking about. He was talking about in the Bible about our virgins being manipulated and destroyed. Sex is one of the biggest issues we're facing right now in our country. The assault on our women, the sexual harassment. But we're also talking about something deeper. We're also talking about the beauty of sex between a couple, between a man and a woman. We have gotten to the point where sex is not just something beautiful between a man and a woman. It is a tool. It is a tool that can be used to manipulate for gain. Prostitution is one of the oldest careers in the book. Women have been using it as a way to make money. Women have been using it to better their positions. Men have been using it to get sex from women in order to exchange it for a job. Sex is a very powerful tool that can be manipulated by evil people, both men and women. There is a very serious problem when it comes to sexual harassment in the workplace. But it comes on both sides of the fence. We have a problem here where we have women claiming sexual harassment. It's a bad thing if it's real, if it really happened. But keep this in mind too when you're talking about sexual harassment, ladies. Did you do anything to bring that on yourself? And the people who are causing men to be guilty before they're proven so, think hard before you destroy people's lives because of sexual harassment. Think real hard about what you're doing to people's lives because a woman claims someone kissed her when she didn't want him to kiss her, or laid a hand on her when she didn't want a hand laid on her. Because women can be very convincing and lie in order to get what they want as well. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't very real, I mean, it's obvious that there's a very real serious problem with men taking sexual advantage of women and boys and whatever. Men are a sick bunch. I can't claim that I haven't been sick in my past, okay? God, you know, I'm not innocent, okay? I've done my share. But I've learned my lessons about that, okay? That's another thing. Do not condemn someone because of something they may have done in their past. Men are men, boys are boys. And girls are girls and women are women. We are falling apart at the seams with this thing. Take it back a notch. Do a reality check. Let's make this thing real. Women who are using this to get an advantage, shame on you. Men are paying a price right now, paying a very dear price for their sins in the past. Do not take advantage of it to try to get yourself into a better position. If you are, shame on you. But again, this is part of the reason why our country is falling apart at the seams, and why our enemies are at the gates, why we are being laughed at, and why our country is on the verge of falling apart. We have got to get over this and stand together. We've got to pull this thing in. We've got to get ourselves back together. And it comes to the point of a moral code. There are things that we need to do to make it better. Be honest. Be open. Operate with pure love in your heart. Find your essence and stick with it. These things are things we know. These are things we know that we're defying right now in our country. This is not an open battlefield where all goes. Politicians, you need to get your honesty game back on. You guys are losing your freaking minds over this stuff. You know what you did in the election, Democrats. You know what you did to tear down Donald Trump. Before going in, while he's been in. You need to stop it. You need to admit to it. You need to clean it up. You need to get rid of the corruption in our government. It's coming out. The threads are unraveling. You need to get straight, because if not, you're going to go down. So we got to get our country back straight on that. Our enemies are at the gates. They're laughing at us. They want to take us down. The American people are very forgiving. They will let you get through this, but you've got to be honest about it. Get your moral compass straight. Get back on north. Get back on North Washington. Get back on north, parents. Get back on north, teachers. Entertainment industry, I don't even need to talk to you because you're all a bunch of fantasy people anyway. But there is a moral compass that you need to get back onto. That's it. Love you guys.